Welcome, lovers, to the Love Dr. Pamela Smith Show. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you share and continue to like and follow. And I love the hearts. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel and be a part of the Love Dr. Pamela Smith. Okay, now the topic tonight is about, can you fix you can't fix the types of personalities I'm going to discuss. And I'm only going to discuss 4 right now, but there's plenty. I'll do another talk on the others, but right now I'm only doing 4 tonight. Understand there's many that I could talk about, but we're just going to do the top 4 to me right now that's mostly important, okay? So, personalities that the reason I'm talking about this is that you or someone you know may have this personality. So make sure you share this particular talk, because people who are not aware of these particular personalities is the reason they have major issues in their relationships. Okay, now one of them is bipolar. Now, some of you may have experienced a person that's bipolar. Maybe you know someone that's bipolar. But bipolar is pretty much a manic depression, okay? A manic depressive person. You know, they have severe high and low moods. And it can range from their energy to their thinking to their behavior, you know, from being happy to sad. So it is a lot of changes that they have when it comes to the personality. A drug addicted person. If you have ever experienced being on drug or know someone that's been on drug, they have a personality of being very irritable. You know, one moment they're depressed, the next moment they're restless, the next moment they have craving. They don't appear to really have control of their behavior, okay, or control of how and when they may have a up or down with their behavior when it comes to a drug addicted person. And there's more. I'm just giving you a highlight of these personalities, okay? So don't say it's this. We know it's more than what I'm saying. We're focusing on things that you can pay attention to, okay? A mental illness person. A lot of us have mental illness in our family. We know someone that's mentally ill. We may have experienced someone that's mentally ill, but we don't really pay attention to it when it comes to a relationship. Now, a mental illness person, they have extreme highs and lows. They're excessive with fear, with worry. They have social withdrawal. They just have a lot of irritability with their personality. And actually, mostly mental illness is ranged in a lot of ways. There's actually over 15 types, even more than that, of a mental illness types of personalities that you just don't know. So I would recommend you Googling it if you come across a person that is just odd and not actually about normal as they should be. You should always research someone who doesn't act, you know, have a normal sense of everyday life, okay? So it is good to check into that, okay? Now, there's much more. I'm just, like, again, we're just giving you the top. And then my number one that I talk about a lot is jealousy, okay? So jealousy is a personality of a person you do not want. Now, there can be some simple, basic laughter jealousy, but then you have that type of jealousy, what it deals with, it encompasses a lot of emotions of fear, of rage, of distrust, to threatening you. And it's just a person who perceives that something that you're doing within the relationship is not what they believe is happening. Okay? And so that's what they put in their mind because they have an uncontrollably jealousy. And you have to watch that. Now, I'm going to talk about why you're unable to really truly have successful relationship with people like this. And this is the reason why I'm talking about it, because you have to pay attention to people that are not who they are. That's why you always hear me say pay attention. Because if you just pay attention to what a person is saying, then you can better deal with this type of person. So you need to understand how they are, okay? And why you're unable to pretty much have a successful relationship with a person that have these personalities. Now, a bipolar person, the reason why it's difficult to have a relationship with a bipolar person is because they're most of the time they are depressed, and their depression causes them to have changes where it can cause you, well, mostly where they just don't trust. In a sense, a bipolar person, they have could scare you, because they could go from being violent to doing things that don't make sense. And so when you're trying to have a relationship with them, they can shake up your relationship because you don't know where they're coming from. Because most of the time, they don't trust you. You know, you can't be trusted in their mind, and they perceive things differently. So make sure you really study a bipolar person. It's more than what I'm telling you, but you really need to study a bipolar person, because that's one of the hidden personalities that you don't see. But if you date them long enough and you do something odd, they'll show it to you. And a lot of time it comes from distrust. So really make sure you research more into that. I'm not going to go all into what a bipolar person and why you're unable. You need to always understand certain things that matter when it comes to seeking a mate or being in a relationship with a mate. You need to recognize, are they sane? Pretty much what you need to do. Now, when it comes to a drug addicted person, you know that most drug addicted people have mood swings, and they deal with a lot of anxiety. And you cannot help a person who's drug addicted. They have to want to change, and it doesn't mean they won't relapse. So it's a question to always want to know, have you ever experienced in drugs? And we're talking about hardcore drugs, not just marijuana. We're talking about heroin, cocaine. You want to go into a deep drug, and you want to find out if this person has ever experienced that. And we don't ask. We get in a relationship and we never really ask a person if they truly have been addicted to drugs before. And it's important to do that, because you'll be surprised that some people that may have been addicted to drugs may have never worked in their lifetime, never held a job down, and you never ask. You think it's just now. You know, it's certain things that really, really, truly happen to a person that has been addicted to drugs. There's certain things they didn't do in their lifetime. So you need to really, truly ask anyone you date, have you ever experienced in drugs? And how long? And what was it? You know, you need to ask the question, okay? Mental illness, okay. But why you're unable to deal with a person with mental illness is that they really have dramatic changes. And their ability to relate in relationship is very poor. Because they don't know how to have a relationship with someone, because they're always going to have, like the same thing I talk about bipolar and drug addicted, they're going to have depression, they're going to have anxiety. So mental illness gets all that in a barrel. So you really have to pay attention to that, okay? Now, why you're unable to, and this is the one we really need to talk about, why are you really unable to deal with a person who is jealous? Now, jealousy is usually one of the biggest problems that most people have in relationships. And the main reason why it's difficult to have a relationship when it's dealing with someone who is jealous is because they just don't trust you. And they don't trust because they have a very deep insecurity of something that may have happened within their past, or that may have happened in their previous relationship, or just something has happened where they have no trust for someone. It could be a situation that happened with a sibling or a parent, and they carry it over to their relationships, but they don't have trust in you. They interpret they interpret what they think you're doing or what they believe you are doing with someone else. They interpret it to be untrust behavior. So it doesn't matter what you say or how you say it. If you speak to someone, they interpret that you want them. If you say hello to someone, just saying hello, if you look at someone, they interpret that is something that you want or willing to do. Just no trust at all. A very strong insecurity. And the problem with this type of person is you cannot fix jealousy. See, jealousy comes from the person that they have to fix themselves and learn how to trust. And so you cannot fix it. No matter what you say, how you say it, how many times you say it, they're never going to believe what you say because they have a strong sense of insecurity and jealousy. And you can't fix a jealous person. They have to fix themselves. So the reason I wanted to talk about these personalities is that we believe that when we deal with people that have certain personalities, that we can fix them, or we can deal with it, or it's okay, or it's not that bad. But in reality is, when it comes to having successful love in a relationship with someone that you believe, you're not able to fix them. The reality is you're unable to fix a person who have a personality that they have lived with throughout their lives. They may have had it since they were, a young child and just grew with it and tried to deal with it. But the reality, it still lies there until they fix it. And you can't help fix them. This is the problem that we have with our relationship. We're always trying to fix someone. And that's a form of change. You try to change someone. They've got to be willing and ready and want to change who they are. But when you're dealing with these type of personalities, most of the like your mental illness is there. You can't fix that. Bipolar is there. You can't fix that. There's no cure for mental illness. There's no cure for bipolar. They have to take medicine to keep them at a state of low depression, because they're still depressed. No matter how much drugs they're taking, they're still depressed. So I wanted to talk to you about these personalities because it's so important for you to understand if you're dealing with this type of person, it's not going to work. If you're that type of person, stay on your meds. Let a person know that this is who you are, and if they're willing to deal with that. Now, of course, you hear me telling you that's not a type of person someone should deal with, because you need to go and fix that issue. You need to handle your issues before you enter into a relationship. And this is why I talk about that all the time. You have to be ready to love someone. And when you have issues going on in your life, you're not ready. And you should be willing to want to make sure that someone will be able to deal with a person who have these type of personalities. And if you're not able to be a part of that world and you can't help them with that world, they have to go and deal with that themselves. Okay? So I just wanted to give you a little information about types of personalities you can't fix. And I hope that what you're listening to, make sure you get more information about it. Make sure you always study someone that has an odd personality and find out what it is that their personality is so odd. Okay. So I hope that you understand what I was just talking about. If not, again, make sure you go and check into it, because these personalities that I'm giving you, they are not able to be cured. So if you're looking for a strong, loving relationship with someone like that, it's not, you're just going to be going through changes. Okay. So I hope the information that I gave you helped you, and that, you know, you'll take heed on what I was just discussing. When we come back tomorrow, I'll have another talk on, we'll go a different way. But right now, today was personalities. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'll talk about. But thank you for joining the Love Dr. Pamela Smith Show. And remember, if you are single, remember, only true love is delayed. Be patient, and love is always seeking you. If you're in a relationship, couples, married, just make sure the relationship is of peace, joy, and happiness. You want to make sure that you are in a relationship that's filled with love, love, love. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you soon.